Life is like a hurricane. Anybody? Anybody? Somebody in here has to know the next line. Here in Duckburg, race cars, razors, airplanes. It's a DuckTales? You never watched DuckTales?
Okay, Nick knew it. I was like, who knows this?
I'm like, I see, but that's my point.
Oh, so it's like different
Somebody
crowds.
in the room knows.
What's up, friends? It's your girl, Emily Curl, back here at our iHeartRadio studios in New York. And today we have a global pop icon, the legendary AJ McLean from the Backstreet Boys. Can we give it up for AJ in our studio?
Top.
With the hair, and that we were just talking about the nails.
The hair, the nails, it's a whole thing.
You look so fresh. I love it.
Trying.
And so glad to have you back here. I feel like you've been all over New York. I just saw you on GMA.
Yeah, which was my first ever solo performance on national television. So.
Oh, and how did you feel?
Honestly, it's so rewarding. I felt great. I thought I'd be nervous, to be honest with you, which I don't really ever get nervous.
I was going to say,
all.
I can't imagine you ever getting nervous.
I really don't, but I thought because this was my first time solo, I was like, am I going to get nervous? And it just kind of like riding a bike. I just felt great. You know, looking behind me, there's no other boys behind me. I had my two amazingly talented skaters with me, so it was awesome.
I'm so impressed with the skating.
I mean, look, I'm okay. I'm not great. I want to learn, though. Actually, I do want to learn. I'm going to take lessons when I get back home.
What did you think of Usher's halftime performance with the skating
I mean,
in there?
he's really just escalated that to a whole new level. You know, I saw his Vegas show before he added the skating element. And then he was just getting lessons after lessons, and just it's become like a passion of his. And I thought, to me, that was the best part of the whole performance. Everyone that he had featured was great. My personal favorite would be either her or Alicia, but the skating was just phenomenal.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
I love it. Well, it's so nice to have you back. We have new music, new projects we're going to talk about. But let's start with your new single, Electric, and this is what you perform. So this is so exciting. Tell me about this track.
So Electric was actually one of the first records that I cut for, which is going to be a full album. The first EP will be out soon.
Oh, it's so exciting.
And then the second EP shortly after that, and then the full LP, which is probably going to become a deluxe.
Oh.
I have at least 22 songs cut right now.
Wow.
And they're all really great.
So everything is like ready. You have it down. Now it's just
ready.
a matter.
We just started the mixing process, which takes time. But yeah, it's all finally happening. But Electric was one of the very first records that I wrote with some really talented writers, and our producer, Mr. Keith Harris, who's the MD for us as well as the Black Eyed Peas, Grammy Award-winning, super chill guy. And we started the session just kind of vibing, talking about what concepts we were going to write about. And I said, look, the vein of this whole project is very 80s, old school funk, like R&B soul, Silk Sonic, Heat Wave, Zapp and Roger, all of those vibes. So this one just kind of came out of us, and we're kind of inspired by George Benson, and we wanted something, and like literally as we were writing it, the roller skating concept was just going through my head, because when you hear any style of music like this, you automatically think skating.
Yeah.
So the video turned out to be exactly what I wanted. I kind of got to bust out my acting chops a little bit. I got to play a couple different characters. I played a nerd. I played kind of a rock and roll video game guy. And then myself had 30 incredibly talented skaters in the video. And this would be my 6th video that I've directed.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Yeah.
You strike me as someone who, I feel like you get, inspired and have, all these creative outlets that you do for you.
This never stops.
Yeah, I was going to say.
It never stops.
Are you constantly just dreaming up new ideas, new projects you want to do? What is that like for you?
You know, it's like I'm a huge fan of just pop culture in general. So I love fashion. I'm in the process of creating a new fashion line. I have my beauty line, Ava Dean, which was inspired by my daughters.
I love that.
As well as, it's just I kind of feed off the energy of what's happening in the world, and then that's where my inspiration might come from, or just personal trials, tribulations, whatever it is. And I just kind of run with it and just stay in my own lane. And, I just want to bring joy and happiness to people, whether it's the music, fashion, whatever it is. I'm a happy guy, generally.
You are.
Yes,
you are. Every time I see you, we always get so excited to have you come in.
Well, thank you.
And then now you have some other new projects. So You and Joey Fatone have been scheming up something new.
Yes.
A Legendary Night
Yes.
tour
Yes.
is coming soon. Now, this is wild. You two working on something together. How did this idea come about? And tell us a little about what we can expect from this.
So about, I think almost 2.5 years ago, Joey hit me up, and he also hit up my bandmate Nick and said, hey, I'm putting together this thing called the After Party. So it was myself, Nick, Joey, and Wanya Morris from Boyz II Men. We did a 4-night residency at the Venetian in Vegas. It went off without a hitch. We had some amazingly talented special guests. It was one of Coolio's last performances, sadly. We had Ray Parker Jr. Like, Nick and I lost our minds singing Ghostbusters with Ray Parker Jr. It was just like, oh my God, this is happening. We had
bucket
Bobby
list.
Brown, we
Yeah.
had Louis Fonsi, and we had Sean Stockman from Boyz II Men. And so that accompanied with, Joey's been doing these like one-off shows called Joey and Friends, where he just goes around, does a bunch of private gigs. He's done a bunch of different shows where he'll bring out other celeb friends and they'll do a bunch of covers, they'll do some NSYNC songs. So Joey was like, what do you think about you and I doing something? I said, if I have the time, I'm ready, let's go. So we did a show together in Tampa last September, and then we did Formula One as well. 2 different crowds.
I can
Formula One
imagine,
was like corporate,
Yep.
and then Tampa was like all of our fans. But the show is really, really fun, and it's almost like a Vegas review. It's comedic, very, very interactive. We sing each other's songs together, as well as some amazing covers of songs that everybody in the audience will know. I don't care how old you are.
Yeah.
As well as I'm going to be doing 3 songs off the EP coming out. I'm doing my single as well as 2 unheard songs. So it's great promotion. It's fun. So it's a real experience, and it will be a legendary night. And the best part about it is every show will be different.
That's what I was going to ask, because again, it's like you said, there's like conversations, dancing, like comedy.
That's
a hard feat to pull off.
Yeah, I mean, really, having a live band also helps because you can start and stop, and we can kind of really mess with the crowd and have a great
So it's full crowd interaction. You're feeling the vibe.
One of my favorite, vignettes of the show that I love doing. We do classic TV theme songs.
Ooh.
But we'll take you back to like the Golden Girls theme song, Friends, The Love Boat, Family Matters, Full House. And it's just amazing how everybody knows all the words. Now, I know it's not polite to ask a lady how old you are, but how old are you?
I'm 31.
Okay, so you might know.
So I was, yeah.
If I were to say, life is like a hurricane. Anybody? Anybody? Somebody in here has to know the
Producer
next
Dylan?
line. Here in Duckburg, race cars, racers, airplanes. It's a DuckTales? You never watched DuckTales?
Oh, okay, Nick knew it. I was like, who knows
I'm
this?
like, I see, but that's my point.
Oh, so it's like different
Somebody
crowds.
in the room knows. So that's one of my favorite little things we do with the crowd.
I was like, wait a second.
You're like,
Dylan laughing.
But that's why I'm saying this show
That's
is
so
always
funny.
evolving.
Yeah.
So the first 9 shows that we put up on sale, these are going to be kind of the experimental shows.
Ooh.
And we
okay.
added 20 more dates.
I know. What
which
was it
is-
like for you to see that fan response? You guys added
Both
the
of
Ryman
us.
Theater. Yeah.
We were just like, well, the demand's there, so we're just going to keep doing it, and we're going to keep adding dates. I told Joey, I was like, look, dude, we're doing Orlando. There's no LA. What's up with that? We need to add LA. We got to go to Toronto. We got to go to Vancouver.
Yep.
Europe wants it. Australia wants it. South America wants it. So
it's about to be a world tour.
it's turning into that, which is fine. It's fun. And so, yeah, I cannot wait. Now, are you coming to the show here?
Yeah, absolutely. Our whole team will all be
right,
there. We
good,
can't
good,
wait.
good.
And I feel like a New York vibe is going to be a fun crowd.
It's going to be a great crowd. The show's
Yeah.
sold out, but I know some people who know some people.
good,
So
okay, good.
I can get you guys.
It's interesting because, like, obviously Joey being from NSYNC, you from Backstreet Boys, like, you grew up together. You sort of
Yeah.
set the precedent, for these boy bands. Did you ever think that there'd be a world where you guys would be collabing like this? Like, was there ever like, I assume some people think there's maybe a rivalry between, but was it always love between you guys?
It was, it was internal competition amongst both groups. So always us wanting to be the best we could be, them wanting to be the best that they could be. Really only it's not even rivalry. I can't even say that word. It's like if they were burnt out from touring or whatever and they didn't want to do a certain TV show or a certain gig, we might do it, or vice versa. But, you know, and there's songs of theirs that we wish were ours and vice versa. Like Joey's always like, I want it that way. Damn it.
It still
Damn
slaps.
it. I'm like, yeah.
Is it fun for you to get to sing the other like group
It is.
songs? Like
It
I can
is.
imagine
Like,
that's all different.
There's quite a few NSYNC songs that we do in the show that I'm having a blast singing, honest to God.
Yeah.
You know, because I wish they were ours. And we're going to add some new ones. We're going to take some things out and, you know, change it up. Actually, Joey asked me a couple days ago, he's like, what was one of the first songs you ever sang back when you were doing auditions as a kid?
Ooh.
And I was like, God, I couldn't remember at first. And then it came to me, I didn't really do a lot of singing in my auditions because I didn't want to be a singer.
Oh, would you
I wanted to
acting
be,
or dancing? What was it?
Acting.
Acting? Okay.
And I wanted to be a backup dancer for Michael or Janet. That was my dream.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. So, but I mean, I sang, but it wasn't
Yeah.
what I thought was going to become my daily job.
Yeah.
But didn't I blow your mind this time? But the New Kids version was what I sang when I met Lou and became the founding member of Backstreet. And Joey's is, She's Like the Wind from Dirty Dancing.
Oh my
I was
God.
like, so he's going to put that in the show.
Oh, that's
and
so
I'm
epic.
going to put mine in the show.
So full circle.
I was like, but I said, if we're going to do anything Dirty Dancing, can we also do Time of My Life and You Catch Me, please? No disrespect to Joey, but I'm not catching Joey. Let's just say I'm working out, but I'm not going to catch
But
Joey.
you're flying. You're
I
flying
will
in
fall
the air.
down. Yeah, we'll be amazing.
Okay, ready to say the move. What about, do you remember like your very first memory of meeting Joey?
Yeah, so Joey came to, we had a show at the Tupperware Theater back in Orlando with the original incantation of Backstreet before Kevin and Brian joined the group. There were two other members that didn't work out. It was still myself, Howie, and Nick. That's when I first met Joey. And then I would see Joey a lot. I used to date a girl that worked in the Beetlejuice show at Universal, and Joey was also in the Beetlejuice show. So I would come visit her, I would see him. And, you know, Orlando, now it's grown, but it wasn't that big then. So we run into each other all over the place, whether restaurants, the mall, Disney, you name it.
Yeah.
Same with some of the other, you know, Lance as well. JC actually lived in the apartment complex that I was living in.
Oh my God, so
when he
wild.
was doing the Mickey Mouse Club.
Yeah.
Him and Brittany both lived in the same place as me, so
So everyone was right there.
everybody was right there.
It's so, I mean, it's so interesting that, yeah, that you guys have always been there. You've been friends forever, collaborating forever, and now you have this project.
Yeah.
And it's so based off of, like you said, like the vibes of the crowd, of the room. Take me back to those like rooms of just you and Joey, like brainstorming this thought. Like, what is going through those conversations, and how much are you preparing for these shows in the sense of like we know what we're gonna do?
We are preparing, so to speak, but
Yeah.
we're more free spirited about just kind of let's just feed off the crowd and see what works, what doesn't, and it is an open book. I mean, we have the ability to do whatever we want with the show, and so our creative conversations kind of go all over the place. Because both of us are the same, our brains never stop. So Joe will say one thing, and that'll spur an entire conversation. Then I'll say something, it'll keep going. And we've had probably 6 different Zoom calls the last 2 weeks, just throwing out ideas. And, you know, we actually talked yesterday about maybe actually doing a record together. Like doing something
Whoa.
as like a homage to this tour.
Wow.
You know, and maybe pulling in some of our celeb friends to come and do like an event record, maybe do something for charity.
Oh,
or
that would
whatever
be
the case is.
that'd be
So,
incredible.
yeah.
What about surprise guests like on the actual tour? Is that
We're gonna be reaching out
Okay.
based on what city we're in. You know,
Can you
we'll
give us
see.
any teasers? Anyone?
I don't know. I mean, like we're gonna be in New York, and we've both got friends out here.
Yeah.
We're gonna be in Orlando, and we both got friends there. Who knows? I mean, you know, we'll see. If we do, we're not going to tell anyone. It's just going to be a surprise.
It's just gonna
It's
for
just gonna be a
everyone,
surprise.
even like y'all's camps too.
I mean, like we'll have to tell our band obviously,
Yeah.
so they know what song that they're going to be learning. But as far as the fans go, we're not going to tell anybody. Like we'll
Yeah.
just be like, and a special guest tonight. That's it. And
That's all.
you'll have to wait and see who it is.
That's so exciting.
Yeah.
It's crazy too because you know you guys have just celebrated 30 years of the Backstreet Boys, which I cannot believe.
Oh, I feel it every day. I feel
It's
it
been
every
that
day.
long.
No, I mean, it'll be 31 years next month.
Yeah, that is just it's so
Yeah.
wild. Like for you, what does it mean to have a career this long that still feels so new and exciting for you that your fans still support you and they still want to be a part of it?
That's number one is we wouldn't be doing this without the best fans in the world. They have kept us going through highs, lows, good times, bad times. It's a testament to the music. It's a testament to Mr. Max Martin. and the entire Sharon team. And, there's just something about this music that's become timeless. I was joking earlier today. I've been in 2 Ubers in the last 2 days, and both times Larger Than Life was playing on the radio. And it's like, it could have been anybody else in the car, but it's me. And I'm just sitting there going, the person driving has no idea who's sitting in the back seat. Like, no idea. Or maybe they do. And
You should be like, do you like this song? Or
I should be like, hey, who sings this? Wrong. No, but it is crazy. We've always just strived to have longevity. We've set out to try to be like the Rolling Stones of pop or the Eagles of pop. We're already at 30 years, so
it's insane.
Hopefully we have 30 more in us.
I know.
May not be dancing as much.
No, see, for you, I could still see it.
I'm going to do it until I physically can't. Even in this most recent tour, 85% of the show is dancing. We're still doing everything. We've dumbed some things down, but there's certain songs where you have to do what the fans want.
Yeah.
Backstreet's Back, we got to do
Absolutely.
this.
Okay, of course.
Larger Than Life, we do the hat routine for All I Have to Give, which we brought back out. We don't do the chair routine on As Long As You Love Me. We did that in Vegas.
Okay.
But, you've got to give something to the fans that takes them back to that time. And then we're taking most of 2024 off. We have a couple spot dates here and there.
Okay, good for you.
We're doing Backstreet's Back at the Beach coming up next month.
I saw that.
We're headlining Lovers and Friends in Vegas, May 3rd. And then we have one more thing, I think in September. It's a massive festival in Germany. But the rest of the year is my time for me to do my thing finally after 30 years.
Yes, yeah.
So, and then some big things coming up.
I know everyone asks you this, but would there ever be a super tour of NSYNC and Backstreet Boys, like combined tour?
If it did happen, it would break the planet. It wouldn't break the internet. It would break the planet.
I don't think we'd be prepared for that.
I don't think we'd be prepared for it. Look, there's been in the mortal words of Mr. Justin Bieber, never say never.
Love.
But who knows? They're still kind of navigating what's going to happen with, they had the amazing song on the Trolls 3 soundtrack. Justin's about to release his album, then go on tour. I'm sure they would love to do something, and maybe they will. But if they do, I think it would it would be more serendipitous for them to do something on their own first, and let the true NSYNC fans have that moment, and then who knows after that, So, but, or put together a massive festival with all of us. You bring back O-Town, you get New Kids, you get us, you get Christina, you get No Doubt, like you get everybody from that, make it the giant TRL show.
I cannot even imagine, that would actually be, where would you want to have that? Vegas?
We've actually talked about trying to put together some kind of a festival idea.
Yeah.
Maybe start it somewhere like Vegas or New York or LA. And then even take it to Europe, because there's so many groups like us in Europe from back in the day that never broke in the U.S., but like in Germany, Austria, Switzerland, like Worlds Apart, Caught in the Act, Boyzone. There's a lot of groups that those fans would know, and keep this like a Lollapalooza or like a Coachella thing, and you can do it every year like a revolving door, and you could change the decades, So the first time around,
okay,
it's the
so
90s.
You have thought this through. This is good.
This is good. We've thought it through, and it's just a matter of facilitating it. We don't want a fire situation, so we want to make sure it's done right.
Absolutely, we're so here for that. Love the idea and love having new music from you. So this is so exciting. I know you mentioned this earlier, your new EP. Can you give us any other hints of when that's dropping? Do we have a date yet?
It will be soon. I can't give you the exact date. I can tell you that the title is Good.
Good.
Yes, and that the second EP title will be Bad Guy. That's all I can say.
Ooh, so I feel like, okay, interesting. Oh, a little
and
duality there.
And even the music on both EPs makes sense in correlation with the title.
Okay.
But this first EP, there's some real, genuinely just over the top songs. One in particular, a song that's called Arizona, is very near and dear to my heart. I think it's really going to inspire people.
Oh wow! Okay.
It's a ballad, but it's based on personal experience. This past summer, I spent the entire summer in Scottsdale, Arizona, doing some internal work on myself. My sobriety is solid, but I wanted to really do some like inner work on some trauma and really figure out why things happen the way they did for me. Which is why also this entire solo project, I'm going under my real name as Alexander James.
Wow.
I want the world to get to know my authentic self.
Wow.
You know, AJ is, I now understand, is a persona. AJ is a Backstreet Boy. I will never bite the hand that feeds me, which is my own hand. But I want the world to get to know Alexander James.
How long did it take for you to realize that those were two separate people? Is that something you've always intrinsically known, or were you leaned into a long time for that?
I've known, but I fought it. And AJ really kind of pushed Alex down a lot because I was living in this piece of shitism mindset and a very, very low self-esteem, which shocks a lot of people considering what I do for a living.
Totally.
But I always was searching for that like external validation. And, you know, AJ got it on stage. I didn't know how to turn it off. And so the kind of people I was attracting were toxic, and just the drugs and the drinking, and that's all symptomatic because of this piece of shitism. And now I'm in a place where I know I'm no better and no worse than anybody in this room. And if you don't like me, that's your loss. It's okay. I like me today. I could look at myself in the mirror and go, you know what? It's going to be a good day.
Wow.
You know? And if it's not, that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, but this song is really about self-care and just feeling good enough. So I think it's going to really touch a lot of people. A lot of people.
I cannot wait to hear it. And can I also say, I love that how open you are about your sobriety, and congratulations. Like, I know that's been such an important part of your life. How do you feel like that has impacted, again, all these things you're talking about? I feel like that's played a role for you.
I mean, look, one of the things that you learn when you're in a sober program like Alcoholics Anonymous or NA or any of them, you know, it's all based on a 12-step program. And the final step is being of service. And helping other addicts, helping other alcoholics gain sobriety, even just one day at a time. So me sharing my story, it hopefully will help anyone out there that might be struggling. Even if I never meet you, never talk to you, if me talking about my experience and my experience, strength, and hope, and me getting past that hump helps someone, then I've done my part. And I will continue to do that and continue to share my story. Because, again, it's also a external reminder to me what I've been through, where I'm at now, and where I want to go and where I don't want to go.
Yeah.
And now, you know, unfortunately, with the fentanyl crisis and all these things, I play the tape out now. If I'm having a bad day, it's like, it just ain't worth it, man. It's just not worth it. Nothing's worth it. You don't want to leave your kids fatherless. You know, it's just not.
Yeah.
You know, I've sadly lost 12 friends in the past 3 years to fentanyl. So it's a real thing, you know, but trying to live my best life, you know, 46 and I'm feeling the cricks, but it's okay. It's okay.
Well, we appreciate that. I appreciate your vulnerability. And you mentioned your kids. Like, I know your kids are such a big part of your life. Have they heard a lot of the new music, and what do they think about it?
They're obsessed with
Do they love
music.
it?
Actually, my youngest is obsessed with Arizona. She
Okay,
wants
so
to
she
hear
loves
it
it.
every morning on the way to school.
And she's how old again?
She's 6.
She's 6.
She'll be 7
Okay.
this month.
Wow, okay.
Although she looks 8. I was on FaceTime with her this morning before school, and I'm like, can you stop
grown
growing
up.
up? I feel like she's grown 2 inches, and I've been gone for 3 days.
Aww.
And then my oldest is really into more of the funky stuff that I'm doing.
Okay.
So, like, she's choreographing dance routines and sending it to me, and yeah, so.
So are they like a good like litmus test for what you
They
think is
are,
going to
though.
go like on the
they
EP?
listen to everything across the board.
I love that.
And they're introducing me to artists that obviously, like, this generation already knows, and I know of, but I may not be a fan of. Like, I had never heard of Ava Max. Now I'm obsessed.
Oh,
She
she's
is,
great.
And literally, when we did a radio show last Christmas, she was on the bill, and she met my daughters, and she was the sweetest human on the planet. And like she saw them again. called them by name.
Oh my
like
God.
she is a
Just-
gem. I actually, one of the songs on the album was written with myself and some of her writers.
No way.
So it's
okay.
got
so it's, like
it's got a
kismet.
bit of an Ava Max vibe to it.
And I love Ava has such a cool. I feel like you guys have similar cool creativity, like style wise.
We do.
Yeah.
I'm hoping her and I can maybe do something together on this album. So
I love that.
that would be awesome.
Well, AJ, we're so excited for you. Thank you so much for your time, for stopping by, and we cannot wait for all the new music. Before we let you go, for our audience watching, where can they buy tickets to the tour and stream
Yes.
all your stuff?
So you can check out everything on Joey and AJ Presents, which is our Instagram, also our TikTok, as well as on Ticketmaster. And yeah, we just added 20 more dates, and
So exciting.
Cannot wait to be back here in the city. And we have a show in Newark. It's going to be great.
Yeah,
and then we also want to come back and add more dates and come back to Manhattan. So,
Yes,
for
we
sure.
need that. We'll be there. AJ, thank you so much again. One more time for AJ McLean in our studio.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for watching. Did you like that video? You can check out a few more over here, and don't forget to subscribe to iHeart right here. And if you're already a longtime fan, make sure you ring the bell down below so you don't miss a single video. We'll see you next time.